Hello everyone, and welcome to a new video. As you can see by the title, it's just one of those speed paints. What else is new? But I'm also testing out a little device today, the Tourbox. It should appear on screen any moment now, like my hand working with it. Here's a picture of it, so that's there. But on the other side, I should be like a little webcam, like a little Tourbox webcam. It was sent my way. Oh, there it is. It was sent my way to review, and I'm happy to do so because the Tourbox is basically a second computer mouse containing only shortcuts. So to make it very simple, one button is undo. One button can be control. You can customize it on your own. More about it later. But I don't know about you, but I use a lot of shortcuts, like a lot. It's what I do. Normally, it's on the side of like a drawing tablet, if you use one, but it's only the side, so there are not a lot of buttons, you know. I have a very big tablet, so I have 10, which is very generous, but most of the time, they're only like 4 or 5. And that's where the Tourbox comes in. So the Tourbox is like a set of shortcuts, but only as a device. And I'm talking about drawing tablets here. And that's simply because I'm an artist. But I saw people use this for video editing, for demodeling too, I think. Like, you can use it for anything that has shortcuts. So your computer has shortcuts. So in reality, in theory, you can also use it for Microsoft Word, in theory. But today, I'm not 3D modeling, I'm not video editing it. Well, I am, but I'm not recording that part. I'm using it for my drawing, as you can see on screen. I'm drawing some kind of demon, I guess. We'll talk about it later. Not interesting now, we're first gonna talk about my new little friend. At first, I didn't really know what to think of the Tourbox. I honestly didn't really think it would add anything, if I'm being honest. But you ought to try it once, right? You have to try it once, so that's what I did. That's what we're doing right now. Well, actually, past Lois is doing that right now. Future Lois is watching the footage and giving commentary. But I was pleasantly surprised. I was actually pleasantly surprised. Because I quite like it. First of all, great model. Great model. As you can, maybe you can see it by the webcam, maybe you can't. I have pretty big hands. Well, no, not big. I guess they're just very long. Like, I have to have bigger gloves for the winter. Because not only will my pointy nails go right through any normal glove, they also just don't fit. So I was kind of worried that this little model would be uncomfortable for me. A lot of mouses, like computer mice, are uncomfortable for me. Like I have like this big gamer mouse, this big expensive gamer mouse because of my huge ass hands, of my yaoi hands. But it wasn't uncomfortable for me, this little device. I'm actually very happy. I don't think it's really big. I think because of how it built, someone with smaller hands could easily work with it as well. So that's pretty cool. It was nice. I could just rest on it easily. I could easily reach all the buttons without like doing a whole lot of movement. Sometimes I use like the little dial thing. That's my transformation shortcut. And then I kind of have to move it, but it's like I don't have to move it much more than I would if I had the shortcuts on a tablet, for example. So I don't do like a lot with my hands. That's why the webcam is kind of boring, except for that weird finger thing I just did. I don't know what that was. Sometimes it just goes up, like it's summoning something. Who knows? That's not the Tourbox. Those are just my weird hands. I'm very sorry. So the Tourbox is next to my tablet. Like the little black thing in the webcam is my tablet. It's where the mouse would be if I was left-handed. or for some people, they put their keyboard there as well. I saw that in art school a lot. Other people did that. You see me use the keyboard sometimes in this footage, but that's for much like typing stuff, because literally all the shortcuts were in the toolbox, so I didn't really have to move my hands that much. Talking about shortcuts, there are a lot of them. We already talked about this, but this little bad boy is completely customizable. Any button can be set to any shortcut. I used a big button next to my thumb for the undo button, for example. I have a shortcut for copy and paste on there, Control and Alt. I use those a lot in my drawing process. So you can use the big dial to change your brush size as well. Things like that. And another great thing about this, it is usable with almost all programs. I used Paint Tool SAI 2 in this video, and it responded great to all the shortcuts. Sometimes SAI can be a little nitpicky about different drivers and such, so I was kind of afraid it wouldn't work, or that I at least had to play around with the settings for like an hour, because that's what happens a lot with Paint Tool SAI for some reason. I don't know why. But no, absolutely not. I downloaded the driver for Toolbox. I plugged the bad boy in. I set my shortcuts, and I was ready to go. It was like, it worked. It worked right away, actually, because some shortcuts are already preset. Like you have a special feature for Photoshop, for example, and then they give you like suggestions basically for what the shortcuts can be, and they're also pretty well thought out. So that's actually pretty cool. But I just use, since I don't use Photoshop and I also use different shortcuts for myself, I personally customize them. But in reality, if you use Photoshop, plug it in with a driver downloaded, and you can go. So again, I'm actually pleasantly surprised. I like this little friend. I like him. I'm gonna give him a name, I think. If you have a great name for this, my new little friend, leave it in the comments, and I can finally name him. If you're interested in getting a little friend like this as well, I have a link for you in the description. It's the first one, and that's where you can find him. And I also got a Need coupon code for you, which you can also use. So that's pretty great. That's pretty great. Make sure to check it out if you're interested. English. It is my seal of approval. I don't know how much that means to you, but I am happy with my little box. And not gonna lie, it looks like I know what I'm doing. It looks like I'm a pro with this thing. Like, maybe other artists will finally take me serious now and make me join their art club. But no, for real, I really like it. Link is down below. Again, blah blah blah. Check it out. Yeah, it has my seal of approval. I actually really quite like this thing. I'm probably gonna use it more, honestly. But we have some time left to talk about when I'm drawing. It's a demon dude. That's it, I guess. I just really was excited to draw with the Toolbox, so I just opened my Rogue program and started sketching. Like I recorded right away, and I was like, we're just gonna do something. I didn't know what I was doing. Eventually, it turned out into this. It turned out into this demon dude with big fluffy hair, and even more important, big sleeves. I love big sleeves, and they're one of my favorite things in the world, period. I just really like them. I was inspired by old German middle-aged clothes. I did a design project about them almost 3 years ago now, in school for my graduation project. Here's the sketch I did for that as well. And like, I never ended up using those exact sleeves, but I'm like obsessed with them. And I just had to use them in a design someday, because I just really like those sleeves. They're not practical at all. Absolutely not. Maybe sitting all day on a throne, that would work. That would absolutely work. But other than that, not really. But I love them so much. Oh, I'm finishing up the drawing already. That's great. I'm fast. No, just kidding. Let's just speed up. I'm giving it a background here. Very cool, very nice. I'm making it blue, green, and there he is. I actually quite like his drawing. It's pretty simple, but I enjoy doing it, and I enjoy drawing it with my little friend. Again, name suggestions in the comments, and I want to thank you for watching with your eyes, and I also want to thank my Patreons. You guys are great. I absolutely very nice of you to support me. I genuinely really am flattered. And if you want to support me as well, more content is on there. I put on sketches and my stuff earlier. This drawing was on there earlier as well. You can support me in the link below as well, or at the end of the video. I think it's on, yeah, it's on screen right now. And I want to thank you so much. Bye. Link of the tour box is in the description.